Okay. So thank you for being with us, whoever is tuning in, wherever and whenever you are. We've got a small group in the school holidays here. It's warm, the weather's warming up, it's sunny. We can hear the fountain outside, so that is nice. It feels peaceful. I think not so busy during the school holidays. In and around this little area. The trees are getting their green leaves, starting to throw some shade now. So I invite all of us to relax and be calm and be still. Relax, calm and still. Still in the mind. Yes, we are still in the body as we meditate generally, looking for stillness in the mind. So let's give our earthly vehicles the gift of a rest, a renewing, rejuvenating rest in full consciousness. So what we are able to do is, unlike what happens at night, we are able to stay in full awareness, not get caught on the astral plane, doing activity and seeing things on the astral plane. This is rest and rejuvenation in full awareness. And so we are minimizing even further the opportunities for our earthly vehicle to engage. If you have trouble with your thoughts, focus on your breath, or you are able to focus on a point in the darkness of your closed eyes, or you can even look at a point on the floor or on the wall opposite. So as to minimize what your physical brain feels like it has to do. And so we begin to control our earthly vehicle. It is the only thing we truly have control over, and it is the only thing that we are meant to have control over during our incarnations as a manifested expression of God. And this begins to lead us into the reality that we are contemplating today. We are a manifested aspect of God. We have some control over that which we do and perceive and how we experience this. So that's what we are doing right now. We are choosing to adjust that which we can adjust to suit the experience that we are choosing to have. We are not changing where we came from. We are not changing what we are constituted of in any significant way. We are changing the energies that are influencing us at this moment, our internal energies, thoughts and consciousnesses. So what we are doing right now is being very aware. We've chosen to meditate. We are in the practice now. Only way we are being more aware. We are choosing to be aware of the practice that we have chosen to use in this activity which we have chosen to do. So Father, Mother, God, the Creator of all things within our purview and our experience and our knowing, the Creator that we are engaging with actually is that heavenly man, as it is sometimes called, heavenly human, heavenly person, heavenly consciousness, that is the earth, that is the being that is using the earth as its expression. And so we exist within this being. So all that we see on this earth is created by this being or for this being, that is maintained absolutely by this being at this time. And the things outside of the zone of influence of this being called the earth, these have been created by higher beings again. And the being that is the earth has been created by a higher being. So our reality is that which we call God. In the most useful sense, is the being that is the earth. And there are levels of consciousness within the earth, just as there are levels of consciousness within our own self. And this is our reality. So we ask this being to help us to understand our reality. And we welcome those beings of the light that also exist within this being, that exist on a plane of consciousness that is more inclusive, more expansive, more able to access a longer and broader length and breadth of knowledge and information about the life that is this earth and the life that exists beyond the earth. So these beings that can understand our requirements for information, for knowledge, for support and assistance, they exist within the same being, only they have greater access. And so they can support us in the most meaningful way. They don't seek to control us, they seek to guide us. So we invite these beings. The outcome of this may be zero. It may be that one or more of us gains some small insight or has an experience during the meditation that is somehow relevant to our evolution. So rest and contemplate peacefully and gently, knowing that we have beautiful beings that will make a contribution if it is relevant, appropriate, useful. We can rest assured that whether they do nothing or a lot, whatever they do will be for the highest good. Of this we can have no doubt if we wish, for this is the truth. And this constitutes a part of our reality. We are a created, supported being that has a degree of creative capacity to influence the environment and the lives around us. And this constitutes our field of endeavor, our field of experience, and this is our field of learning, our field of growing. This is the environment. To contemplate this balance between being a created and a creator. And know that this is the reality of the universe. The whole universe works in this way. At one level, we are a creator, and at another level, we are the created. Contemplate that there is much speculation about the creative capacity of a human. This speculation has been amplified and distributed and spread all over the world via the different mechanisms There are many who would like to believe that everything around them has a touch of unreality about it, that it is an illusion, and that their mind is the creator of the experience, the creator of all the structure that they see, that their mind and collected minds are creating at the human level structures that are far more immense than, I would suggest, the true capability of a human. Like many things, there is a degree of truth. There is a great illusion referred to in the texts that carry a greater wisdom. And strangely, a part of that great illusion is the illusion that we are creating everything. This is a known, documented part of the journey that humans go through, the great illusion. Only this is misinterpreted. The great illusion is not the structure that we exist within. This is a very real, very organized, well documented in the right place structure of existence within which a human exists. The great illusion is not the existence of that structure. The great illusion revolves more around the lack of understanding and knowing of that structure, and the identification of a human being with much less of that structure. An individual who believes that they are creating all things around them with their own thought forms is expressing this great illusion to a substantial degree. This is a long way from the reality, and a quite ironic twist. Creates within the person a completely misaligned perspective of reality. And the irony is that within that misaligned perspective, there is much said about illusion. Only it is not an accurate depiction of the illusion that exists. Contemplate that the reality of a human being at this time in the evolutionary progression of humanity as a collective, the reality has built within it the planes of consciousness upon which much illusion and much glamour exists. So the astral and the mental planes of the earth plane are riddled with illusion, misconception, near truths, things that are far from true. And many, many, many human beings have access to these ideas, these concepts, these ways of looking at existence which are wide of the mark, who have a great capacity to access these levels of consciousness which do exist within the reality of all that we are. Only it is entirely possible to get completely lost within the myopia of these levels of consciousness. So much that the psychology of an individual can become completely lost for a while. It can take us lifetimes to extract ourselves from these levels of consciousness, from the misdirected information that exists on these levels. So reality, our reality as a human, carries with it the opportunity to become lost within a world of consciousness and thought and emotion. And this constitutes an important period within our evolution. The effort, the ability, all that is required to extract ourselves from this known, predicted, important, level of consciousness on our long journey is what becomes most important. Our ability to extract ourselves to intuit the truth. The vast majority of what people call intuition, and here is another part of the great illusion, the vast majority of what people call intuition connects us with these planes upon which much illusion exists. True, clear intuition comes from the level of soul. And contacting this level is a part of our long incarnational task. It is not automatic. It takes much effort and a substantial degree of experience within the planes of illusion on the earth plane. Reality is almost completely, for every human being on the planet, is almost always a distortion. Their perception of reality is the distortion. This goes for every human on the planet. Even those that understand to some degree the truth. There are elements of truth that are not accessible, that are not a part of our current task as an individual or a collective humanity. All of the experience of my life screams out to me that the idea of being a creator is sound. The more that I understand that, the more that I embody that understanding and live that understanding, the more that my experience changes. My experience of the reality changes. I have much capacity to alter my experience of the reality within which I exist. What I can and can't do is limited by the fact that I'm a human, by the fact that I'm a human at this time in existence, by the fact of all the experiences I've previously had and the wisdom that I've gleaned, or the wisdom that I've not gleaned. These are all limitations. The fact that my soul wishes for me to do certain things, this is a limitation. The fact that the hierarchy that oversees the evolution of humanity is not as accessible as everyone would wish within the world of illusion. The hierarchy are quite clear. that it takes much effort and much attainment for them to build up the trust. This is not to say that anyone is not looked after. There are levels and levels and levels and levels of support for humanity. The great illusion is that the highest levels of support are available to the same degree to everyone at the same time. This is incorrect. Hierarchy described this in terms of even within humanity, do we get professors to teach kindergarten school? No, we don't. Even humans understand this and structure this into the way that they exist, the way that they educate. And every human would think it ridiculous. Where is the value? Where is the sense of taking away high level teachers from work that would be much more valuable and useful and placing them in situations that patently don't work? There would hardly be a professor, a high level doctor of any discipline in any university that would be good at teaching kindergarten children. They would flounder, their skills and abilities would not work. The kindergarten children would not be able to access that which is of value that could come from the high level teachers. Only if you asked a kindergarten student whether they could think of any reason why being taught by a professor from a university would not make sense, the kindergarten student would not be able to give you a sensible answer. They would not realize this. They would not even understand the question. Contemplate that humanity is operating a little bit like this. This is our reality. It is a good reality. The level of support is organized and arranged and structured to suit the level of attainment at which we are at. The point at which we understand this and stop imagining that we have creative powers beyond our actual ability and stop believing that we are more evolved than we are. At that moment, we open up the possibility for true advancement and growth. the individual may become that which they are actually destined to become and grow to the degree to which they are able, and find peace in this growth, peace in the knowledge of gaining a degree of wisdom and a higher level of consciousness, peace and joy and reward and meaning. Contemplate that within the reality that we exist in, we are loved to a degree that we cannot understand, that we cannot grasp, that we cannot comprehend, because this love happens at levels and in ways that we are not able to understand. All that you are is a result of, yes, your hard work, your long incarnational journey, the creative way that you have used your incarnations, only never lose sight of the fact that you are making that journey in that context and within, nested within this beautiful support mechanism, overseen by the most loving, wise, capable being. Life is special enough. The reality is life is special enough. Without deluding ourselves about who is creating all this. Know the difference between creating the universe and the world within which we exist and experiencing and navigating that world that already exists there. Know this difference. Explore this difference. It is substantial. These two things are not close together. They are a long way apart. We have much control over our experience. We have little to no control over the world that has been created for us to have that experience in. As we end the meditation, contemplate this message. We have little to no control over the universe and the world around us, except as a collective we can damage or enhance aspects of it. But we certainly didn't create that world, but we have great capacity to experience it and to navigate it and grow within it in a myriad of ways. Thank those beings of the light that help us through this journey and constantly shine a light for us to move towards out of the world of illusion to the safety, to the wisdom, to the love of the kingdom of soul. Father, Mother, God, creator of all things, we thank you for this peaceful morning, which is a part of our reality. We pray that we have experienced this and grown within it and created that which is good within the context of this world within which we have been placed. We honour the divine in all. Thank you.